This is Joe Malone. It is the North Iowa Bulls Chat Podcast. The head coach, general manager of the North Iowa Bulls, Todd Sanden, making some time, which I do appreciate. Good morning to you.
Absolutely, Joe. Anytime. Thank you for the opportunity.
So the Bulls were hosting the Bismarck Bobcats this past weekend. It was a 6-2 and then 4-0 Bobcats win Friday night and Saturday night. Now, granted, I'm not out there on the ice. I'm not lacing up the skates or anything like that. But I felt like, this is a weekend where we can pick up some wins. What happened? What made Bismarck the better team this past weekend?
Well, I think when you look at they're healthy, they've got their leading scorer from last year was hurt in the first game of the season and has been out until I think he came back 2 weekends ago. So they got a big boost there, and then making some moves at the deadline certainly bolstered their lineup as well. And just them getting healthy, us still being banged up, probably tips the scale in their favor a little bit.
Now, what has this week of practice been like as you get ready to put that in the rearview mirror last weekend and get ready for what's going to be the final stretch of the season?
This week was a little bit different than any other week during the season. I mean, we really got after the kids on Monday with a physical practice and just filled with compete and skating. More to just kind of reset expectations. Yesterday was good. It was up tempo, upbeat. Kids were in a pretty good mood, and today and tomorrow, moving into that Springfield series, we just have to work on some details and special teams and get the boys ready to go.
And I know seeing some of the post-game interviews that the players have done that you can see on the Bulls YouTube page and other social media, they're aware of where the team is at right now and where the team wants to be and expectations, it seems.
Yeah, without a doubt. And certainly everybody wants to be a playoff team, and we're out of that mix right now by a couple points. But the nice thing about the Central Division maybe is that everybody's beaten everybody at least a couple times. So if you have your game put together and you play hard and you're a little bit fortunate, anybody can beat anybody in this division and potentially go on a run.
Now, is there more pressure to win now versus earlier in the season? Because all the wins stack up. They all add up, but it feels like winning later in the season is bigger in some way than winning earlier in the season. Or am I wrong on that?
No, I agree with you 100% on that, Joe. I mean, late season wins, and really it's your process and your progress throughout the season. You're always the goal is to win every game, and obviously that's difficult to do. But these wins later in the season, your process should be getting tighter and closer to where you want it. But and especially with us being outside of the playoffs, like every game is we feel critically important to win.
Now, if I can we get an update on a couple of players? Dombrowsky has been out of the lineup for a couple of games, and then Carter Rapalje has been absent for quite a while, and both those guys are up there on the points total for the team. How close are they to getting back on the ice in a game situation?
Yeah, and that's been a little bit of our struggle, not making any excuses, but having 30 goals out of the lineup in Dombrowsky and Rapalje definitely hurts a young team. I mean, those are two veteran guys that are fairly consistent in the production, but looking at Dombrowsky broke his wrist at the Top Prospects event. He's probably got 2 to 3 weeks left out before he's back to even getting on the ice, and then to take any kind of physicality, that'll be evaluated then in 2 to 3 weeks. Carter Rapalje actually has a doctor's appointment today, and potentially could be cleared. And I'd say the max for him is probably another 2 weeks, like with that broken jaw. That's obviously a critical injury where you have to make sure that it's healed up very well before you go back out there and bang around again.
Yeah, for sure. And hopefully they heal quickly, heal correctly, and get back on the ice sooner rather than later. When the time is right.
Yeah.
Next up is Springfield Junior Blues road trip. You had a split with them earlier in the season. Springfield in second place in their division. How are these two teams going to match up? What are your thoughts going into the weekend?
Well, I think it's a team that's similar to us, except they're just a bit older. I mean, we're still, I think, the youngest team in the North American League, but Springfield's a team that gets up and down the rink. They have pretty good depth on their D-core as well, and their goaltending's been good this season. So, I mean, looking at it, these are two tough matchups for us on the road with the team that's high in the standings in their division.
Now, one thing that was posted up on the Bulls YouTube page this week, Jack Campion mic'd up at practice, and it's kind of funny to just see the interaction between the teammates with Campion, making the move up from the Toros to the Bulls. Will we ever see a Coach Sanden mic'd up episode?
I don't know. Yeah, I think during practice we probably could get away with it, but maybe in games where things get a little bit like the barometer is a little bit hotter there in those situations during games. So probably not during games, but yeah, maybe in practice.
Now, the other question, what do you think fans would find more interesting, mic'd up for practice or mic'd up for GM duties where you're wheeling and dealing and doing roster moves and whatnot?
Yeah, I don't know. It'd probably be the practice because we don't get an opportunity to really do a lot of moves here. So, I mean, there's probably more going on in practice or a game than there is, on the player market.
Okay, excellent. Well, Coach, best of luck this weekend. Bulls again on the road against the Springfield Junior Blues. Todd Sanden, the head coach, general manager of the North Iowa Bulls, with us here on the Bulls Chat podcast. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Joe. We appreciate it, too. And thanks for all the fans who were out last week. And that was a great weekend with a ton of support in the building.